In this FluencyLink tutorial video, we'll look at how to create an assessment, also known as a standard test. You can treat it as practice, homework, a quiz, a test, etc. Assessments are a collection of questions that can be assigned to students. Questions may be auto-graded or manually graded depending on the question type. These can be questions you created yourself, and if available, you may use publisher-provided questions, which are based on exercises you'd find in the books. For example, in this video, you'll see questions from the Go Far with Chinese Level 2 workbook. For help with creating your own questions and other aspects of assessments, please see the videos linked below. You can access the assessment bank by going to Assessment, Standard Tests on the side panel. Click on New Standard Test. Test settings are covered in detail in a separate video. However, I'll remind you that we recommend enabling partial scoring for any assessment that contains publisher-provided questions. You can give your test a title and a description. Then you can choose to create new questions directly from here, or you can add existing questions from the question bank. Browsing and searching for questions is covered in detail in a separate video. In this video, we'll go over some examples of assessments you may want to create. Let's say I want to assign all the questions in Chapter 1, Section 1. I'll search for the title by entering the book series, book type, and Chapter 1, Section 1. Then I'll scroll down to click View More Questions. Now I'm seeing all the questions I want to see. One thing to note is that these questions are ordered by the date last modified, and questions will appear in the assessment based on the order you click on them here. So if I click on this checkbox, it will select all the questions that are displayed. In my assessment, they will appear in this order. If I want the questions to appear in a particular order, I can select them in that order. When finished selecting your questions, click Save. You can also reorder questions by dragging them here. However, it might be easier to select them in the order you want from the beginning. Currently, previewing questions from this question bank is limited to a box that appears when you hover over the question. So you may find it helpful to have this question bank open in a separate tab to preview questions if you'd like to. With publisher-provided questions, you could also have the relevant book open. Just note that the question format used with FluencyLink questions may differ slightly from the format used in the book itself. Another way to preview is by clicking this plus box to expand a question. And click the minus to minimize the question. As another assessment example, if I want to assign all of the reading questions from Chapter 1, I could do it like this. We have the series, book type, Chapter 1, Section 1, and then R for reading. These questions I already selected in the previous example. So now I'll edit my search to Section 2. I can select these. Edit it again to Section 3 and select these. Now all these questions appear at the bottom. When finished with your assessment, you can publish it or save it as a draft. Only published tests may be assigned to students. To edit an assessment, you can click on this pencil icon, or you can click on it from the assessment bank. To remove a question, click this pencil icon and select Remove. When finished editing, click Publish again. After assigning this assessment, there is no longer an option to remove these questions from the assessment. As a teacher, you can also self-attempt an assessment to see it from the student's perspective. So click on this Attempt Test button. You'll be able to interact with the assessment just as a student would. You can go to the end of the assessment and submit, or use this button to exit. Thanks for watching.